Johann Zarco has become Honda's biggest success story since the end of the Marc Marquez era in their factory team. The French rider has clearly proven himself worthy of the 2-year contract and the reportedly significant salary increase, thanks to his leading role in Honda's motorcycle development efforts last year. Heading into the 2025 season, he continues this positive momentum. Zarco had already expressed interest in joining the factory Honda team as early as 2024, when news broke of Marc Marquez's departure and a seat in the main team became available. However, it was eventually decided that Honda and Zarco would stick to the original agreement, placing him at the satellite LCR team managed by Lucio Cecchinello. The fact that the factory Honda team no longer carries the iconic Repsol livery doesn't seem to have diminished Zarco's curiosity about returning to a factory setup, especially after his unsuccessful stint with KTM in the past. His current contract is set to expire at the end of this year, as is Luca Marini's with the factory Honda team. On the MotoGP grid, only a handful of riders are also out of contract in 2026, including Jack Miller at Pramac Yamaha and Zarco's rookie teammate Samkiat Chantra, who is reportedly on a 1+1 deal. Regarding the possibility of a factory ride in 2026, Zarco admitted that it's a realistic scenario, though he emphasized that no discussions have yet taken place with Honda, or even with Lucio. On the other hand, he also mentioned that he would be happy to stay with Lucio. Zarco also acknowledges that it's still too early to have serious talks, but the first 2 races have given him reason to consider the opportunity. A proper discussion is likely to happen soon. Zarco indeed deserves a seat in the factory Honda team. It would be a pleasing decision if he were granted the opportunity. However, there are 4 reasons why Honda might think twice about making it happen. So far, Zarco's performance shows no signs of decline, and as long as he remains competitive, discussing his age may seem unfair. However, in a contract that would likely span 2026 and 2027, age must be considered. Zarco is the oldest rider on the MotoGP grid, nearly 3 years older than the next. He will turn 35 in July 2025. And there's a real possibility that he may have to retire from MotoGP just a year into the new regulations, which begin in 2027. Zarco was a late bloomer compared to some of his rivals, so his physical wear and tear isn't as severe as Marquez's. Still, if Honda extends his career into age 36 or 37, he would become something of an exception in MotoGP's recent trends. The past few years have not been easy for the factory Honda team, but this period has underscored how efficient their satellite outfit, LCR Honda, has become. Cecchinello's team collected more than triple the points of the Repsol Honda team in 2024. And while KTM is no longer a looming threat to lure LCR away, since KTM is not in a position to attract any teams right now, Honda still needs to maintain a strong relationship with Cecchinello. For LCR and its sponsors, Zarco's presence is clearly valuable. Moving him to the factory team could destabilize the satellite outfit that has built solid momentum. Zarco may be more productive than Luca Marini on track, but Marini wasn't hired solely for his race performance. His technical feedback and development skills were key reasons for his recruitment. So far, Honda seems content with their decision to sign Marini in 2024. Releasing him before the 2027 regulation changes would seem to go against their current development strategy, unless Marini agrees to move to LCR, which remains pure speculation for now. Marini himself has stated that he is focused on performing at his best in every race, regardless of his contract situation. If Marini or Joan Mir don't elevate their performance to elite levels soon, Honda does need to seek rider upgrades. But if they do, it must be a bold move, one with real ambition. Zarco has blossomed nicely, but he is not Pedro Acosta, who is more than a decade younger. Nor is he Fabio Quartararo, who is almost 10 years younger and, as things stand, could be available in the 2027 rider market. If Honda wants to shake things up in its factory team, it should only do so for riders of Acosta or Quartararo's caliber. If such names aren't attainable, it might be wiser to stick with the current setup. What is Honda's best strategy? Assuming Pedro Acosta isn't available for 2026, the ideal strategy for Honda might look like this. Offer Zarco a new 2-year deal with LCR, with an option to join the factory team in 2027 as an incentive. Give Marini a 1-year contract to align with the broader contract cycle. Conduct a major evaluation ahead of the new regulations in 2027. This decision might feel somewhat unfair to Zarco, who has worked hard to earn a place in the factory team. But for Honda, this is likely the most logical move for their future.